Okay, so there could be multiple reasons as to why your glutes are not firing optimally. One of those main reasons that we're going to talk about today is your lifestyle. This muscle produces some of the biggest movements in the body which come out of your hip joint. So the muscle is very important when it comes to being able to move. The simple fact that we sit so much on a day-to-day basis is one of the key reasons as to why the gluteus maximus will essentially stop working. The reason being is because the glutes are essentially used as a cushion and that's it. So the biggest muscle in the body, it's compressed most of the day, and all you're using this muscle for, this is a powerhouse by the way, and all it's being used for is to be sat on. So eventually the muscle is going to adapt to its new position and roll into the body, because that's how it works. It's muscle memory. If something is not being used, then it's going to start to decline until it's gone. The second key reason as to why the gluteus maximus will potentially stop working optimally is posture. Posture is not what causes back pain. Posture is one of the elements that essentially will lead to back pain down the line. Imagine a weight scale, 5 kilos on both sides, and everything is perfectly balanced. Now all of a sudden something comes along and actually puts 0.5 kg on the left hand side. Initially the scale might not really move massively, but over time the scale is going to start to very slowly move down, because this little weight that's been put onto the left hand side is essentially going to play its role down the line. So we're not talking about 10 kg being dropped straight away and the balance going off. We're talking about gradual decline over time. The ultimate balance that the muscles have been designed to create, but because of our lifestyle, because we don't really kind of tap into the full capacity of our bodies due to multiple reasons, over time posture will start to create these imbalances, which will then lead to pain. How does that work specifically for the gluteus maximus? Well, essentially if you imagine the pelvis, just like I said before, imagine this weight scale where you got even sides, so the pelvis should be neutral or even optimally. Most of the time there's some sort of a tightness or maybe some sort of a compensation going on the front of the body, because we sit down so much and we tend to slouch, so that pushes the pelvis into a unnatural position. So over time, with this continuous repetitive strain on the pelvis, some muscles are going to start to work more than others. Like I said before, the gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle in the body, but it's not the only gluteus in the body. So let's have a look at the anatomy of the gluteus group. So the gluteus maximus has been called the maximus for a reason. It's purely because of its capabilities. So this muscle is a powerhouse, the biggest muscle in the body, potentially the strongest muscle in the body. It's responsible for stabilization of the hip and many other movements which are necessary. This muscle has been designed to essentially give us the power to jump, squat, deadlift, sprints. The gluteus medius is mainly a stabilization muscle, even though it supports a lot of the movements that occur in the hip. Whilst you're sitting down on your gluteus maximus and this muscle is adapting to a certain new position, the gluteus medius is starting to essentially take up all the tension. And alongside something called the TFL and the QL muscles, those three muscles are essentially stabilizing the entire pelvis. So the gluteus medius is the first muscle to get tight, and most of the time when it comes to back pain, especially pain that wraps around the back, it's actually the gluteus medius that's causing this pain. And last but not least, of course, is the gluteus minimus. As you can see, I've taken off all the other muscles such as the gluteus maximus and the medius, and underneath the medius we've got the minimus, and it's essentially supporting the medius in its rows. So it's a stabilization muscle that stabilizes the movements that occur into the hip. Key reason why these three muscles will cause back pain is the fact that the gluteus maximus will essentially stop working. It will lose its capabilities of being a powerhouse. Once that happens, the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus will then start to take over and compensate from what the gluteus maximus should be doing.